like that in center, where the all over India, the in
Hmm.
such a who have the talent in the
Hmm.
through VBM we are find out no. Suppose
Hmm.
the all
Hmm.
India level who are the first position, second position rank holder, if they
Hmm.
can directly get the chance over there in the opportunity in such way, and they can who are interested to devote their life for the scientific field, or they can would like to work in that manner in such way in our country you can build up such about the university like that scientific in such a lot of concern we have, but they
Yeah.
are not, in such a their criteria is different way. But in
Yes.
that way, we have seen in our school also a lot of students have the very nice ideas, innovative ideas who have interested also. If they
Hmm.
can get the platform in that way in near future,
Hmm.
so in that only the science-based one university are like that in such way. They are the
Yeah, actually, in
and
the
the
education policy right now, earlier
mm,
the kind of things we had,
mm,
commerce faculty, arts faculty, science faculty, so different
mm,
faculties in different things. Right now,
mm,
actually, the present education policy abolished all those things. So made
mm.
a unified campus, basically one
Yeah,
some sort of
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
campus.
good,
So
good.
reason is that, for example, somebody is interested in mathematics or physics or
Mm,
something, but if he
mm,
has interest in music, let us say, or any other subject, then along
yeah,
with that, he can choose that subject, so that
yeah, yeah.
both he can follow his passion and can do
Mm.
better.
No,
So, but only dedicated science university or a dedicated science thing already it is existing. Like we have the
mm,
all the research institutes like
mm.
TIFR, IISc Bangalore, and all other national laboratories who has the national mandates like the Department of Atomic
No,
Energy, ISRO.
uh, uh,
So there they have, but as far
yeah.
as education is concerned,
Mm,
what they are reviving, you might have heard this Nalanda they are reviving. In Nalanda right now there is a university that is a central
mm,
university, and that
mm,
is not simply central university. Government has special focus on that university. I think
mm.
earlier Professor Amartya Sen was the vice chancellor. Right
Ah,
now, yeah, right now Professor Vijay Bhatkar is the vice chancellor.
yeah,
He is the, also the
yeah. Mm,
basically president of Vigyan Bharati, and apart from that, he
mm.
is the basically father of the our high computing system, basically supercomputer. So when
Yeah,
he
yeah.
was the director under his leadership, first when USA denied a supercomputing facility to India after Pokhran test. Before that
Mhm.
also, in 1971 Pokhran test and 74 test, also 1998 Pokhran test, when they denied the supercomputing facility, Professor Vijay Bhatkar took the leadership and
Mm.
basically developed the first supercomputer in India. He is right now the chancellor of Nalanda University, and that
Very
has a
good.
broad perspective. It's like
Mm.
faculty can be from any other place, anywhere, and they should have all sorts of previous features were there, like in Takshashila Nalanda, the complete autonomy. The teachers and
Mhm.
students, if they want to nurture something, so there's some idea, nurture some ideas, then they would be given this scope. So probably with that idea, Nalanda is right now being built up. Since it is a big task, it will take some time, but
Yeah.
they have that plan. And apart
What
from that,
mm.
yeah,
Whatever the sir, whatever the we have heard, even we have observed regarding the new education policies.
yes,
So cordially, I like to give thanks to everybody who have involved to prepare
yes,
the such a thing. Very nice presentation,
yes, yeah,
and
yeah,
actually really hats off. Whatever, but my request is that just actually in whatever the our problem in our country,
yeah,
implementation.
yeah.
Mainly
That is, yeah.
everybody, all the education commissions are like that, whatever, mention a lot of points. But the time of the implementation, that time also again and again, same way it is going on.
Yeah,
So
that I completely agree. But
uh,
what we hope is that the present
ah,
Prime Minister is a
uh,
very hard task collector. So he
uh,
silently collect the tasks. So
uh,
hopefully that implementation, like the sanitary program, the toilet, everything upper
everybody
diffusion
having
program.
everybody having same faith and belief to him.
Yeah,
Actually, he
probably,
is the only
hopefully,
the person always start in the ground.
yeah.
He knows the ground reality.
Yeah, heart task collector. So he may give some pain, we may receive some pain, but ultimately in the long run, hopefully it would be better. So with
Yes,
that
yes.
hope, maybe we
Yeah.
hope that new education policy is implemented within 10 years. If it is implemented within 10 years, definitely there will be a drastic change in education system. Like those who have extracurricular activities right now in the system, maybe students are not much aware. Like all the vocational degree earlier there was, right now there is no vocational degree. Every degree is a degree, academic degree. It has much
Yeah,
more
yeah.
importance. If you
That is
have
the
a,
main thing.
yeah, that is the main thing. So it's a very important steps the government has taken. Hope, yes, as
Yeah.
you have rightly pointed out the implementation part. Hopefully, we are expecting that if at least 60% implementation would be there, then it would be a success, no doubt.
One of the particularly our one seminar I have attended. They are the
Yeah.
Nivedita, particularly the sister Nivedita. They are one organization. The
Sister
birthday of the
Nivedita Sakti.
Nivedita. They are organizing they have organized one program, and they also invite me. I attend the program. So I have mentioned that. So lot of people mentioned there regarding the who are the lady scientists regarding their contribution in the scientific field or like that. I have said only one point. That practically the Europe and America concept is that if in the laboratory we have developed something that is also science. Their
Yes.
concept, research work like that. They got the doctorate degree. But our
Yes.
Indian concept different. You see the practically the food item. It's the variation of the food items. How much
Yes.
they prepare every day their kitchen. They are preparing.
Yes, yes.
So they are not getting any doctorate degree.
No, but right now that is documented in this present education policy.
Right now,
Yeah.
this is
Yes.
you're right, absolutely right. Right now, the tendency is coming in
Yeah.
such a.
Yeah.
So you see the variation in the Europe, America, go the food items. Their mother, they can do in such a. They never thought in
Yeah.
detail. But our
Yeah.
each region, not only
Yeah.
Bengal, Orissa, you go, Bengal, you go, everywhere. Very, very nice, tasty food they are preparing from the local maids like that in such a. So this is also one kind of research work.
Yes, yes, definitely. Because even if also the nutrition concept of the nutrition as a program,
Yeah.
Western people they documented it and they made it a perfect program. But we never thought, as far as nutrition and also food is concerned, I think India has largest varieties of things. But India never made it official, but they made it official. But in this policy, yeah, that is taken care.
That's it. Our mothers are not getting such a honor.
Yes, yes. Still, then they will be. They are being called as illiterate.
They call illiterate. You see.
Yes.
Okay, sir.
They have so much knowledge. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. I took a lot of time, your valuable time, sir. Okay, Chamal sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
sir.
think everybody joined. I think so.
Yes, sir. 100 and so many students they can't join due to this participation.
I see the 100 same already. So,
Okay,
good morning, all of you. So we like to start now. So, dear students, good morning once, and especially I give my sincere gratitude and regards to Dr. Jajati Kishori Nayak. He is one of the leading scientists in our country nowadays. And for the benefit of the students who have interest in science field and everything, would like to work in the near future. So for that, he is day and night he is working for that. So we are really today we are very much fortunate and lucky enough. We have requested him, and he also accepted our request. And now he will be take the I think the coming 40 to 50 minutes. And through this seminar or webinar, we are very much. I think everybody must be enriched. And in the near future, what is our role? What is our how we can contribute? And India in the perspective of the world community, what is the role of the Indian scientists? Everything, I think we have to enrich now, coming 40, 50 minutes. And after that, you will get the opportunity to ask to some of the questions to our sir, and sir will be reply. I think, I hope that everybody will be benefited through this webinar. And once again, thank you, Dr. Jajati sir and Samal sir also. Samal sir given the very noble effort, and we got the opportunity to see the Jajati sir once again, and we like to hear something from Jajati sir. Thank you so much.
So, good morning, respected principal sir, respected guest, Dr. Jajati Kesari Nayak, scientific officer of VECC, and respected teachers and my loving student. So at first, I would like to welcome our guest, Dr. Jajati Kesari Nayak. It's a great privilege to get our guest in the banner of Satish Chandra Memorial School. Let me introduce our guest just for 2 minutes. So here is our sir. Actually, if we go for profile, it's a big profile. He has completed his PhD from Homi Bhabha National Institute, a research fellow in the year of 2001 and 2002 Institute for Plasma Research, and he was also a trainee scientific officer within the range of 2002 to 2003 at Bhabha Atomic Research Center. And now he is a renowned scientist of scientific officer at Variable Energy Cyclotron Center, Calcutta. And he is mainly doing his research in theoretical physics. His research interests are electromagnetic signals and quark gluon plasma, real and virtual photon production in relativistic heavy ion collision, stringent productions in heavy ion collision, hydrodynamics, and transport equation. He have more than 30 papers, as well as he is given his talk to our country as well as outside the country. So I will not waste your time, guys. So I will go directly to our respected guest. Sir, the platform is yours. Please.
Okay. So, can you see my slides?
Yeah.
Okay.
We can see.
Okay. So, good morning, everybody. Respected Principal Sir, Samal Sir, and other respected teachers present today, our beloved students. And you know, right now we are moving in a very bad phase to a very bad phase. Whole Mother Earth is moving through this bad phase, and human beings are affected through a pandemic, COVID-19. Mostly world population, I think till now maximally was affected by plague. Several times world faced plague, and this time it has crossed all the limits with maximum deaths at a single period. So not only that, some other creatures also are facing some problems due to human interference with the nature, that is by excessive use of technology. Apart from our basic necessity, we use technology for fun, always for comfort, which is not required also. So a typical example, we know that like mobile network, we had 2G, 3G, 4G, and the 5G also is coming. You know, because of this networking, all the systems, equipments that has been installed over the world, you know, there is optical fiber connection under the sea also. So because of this mobile network, many species of birds, insects, creatures, those are in the verge of extinction. I think some species also are also completely extincted from the earth. So it's not a good signal for us, because each and every creature in the earth has some role. That's why we are complementary to each other. But since we need also a little bit more comfort. Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir. We are getting you, sir.
Okay.
We are getting you.
So we are getting, actually we need some sort of comfort also, but somehow we should restrict our use. And we know human beings are intellectual species. Since human beings are intellectual species, we have the highest responsibility to preserve the biodiversity in the earth. But sometimes we forget that. In one of our ancient text, Upanishad, it was some very good thing has been written. Tena Tyatvena Bhunjitha. After that also Mag Rudra Kastu Siddhanam. What it says is basically, this is called Isavasya Upanishad. It says, consume that much which is required. For example, we have Facebook, Facebook, WhatsApp, and all other social medias. And sometimes social medias we use for fun, sometimes we use for also academic purposes, learning purposes. But most of the times we use for fun. Little bit fun is required, that is necessary also. But the amount of time right now we are spending, probably it is not good. And the amount of data we would consume, the amount of power station that would release their data, so that actually adversely affect the nature. But some sort of we have to keep balance, optimize our requirement and also nature earth's exploitation. So on this, basically on this eve of this Independence Day, tomorrow is Independence Day. My best wishes to all the students, our teachers, especially the teachers, because who are the torch bearer in the society. They transmits the knowledge from one source to another source to the students. Basically, this another source is students. Also, best wishes to the students because they are the carrier of the knowledge. So, and also carrier of the light, carrier of the torch. So on this words of this this Independence Day, on the eve of the Independence Day, with these wishes, let us start our today's discussion. And today's discussion, the topic is baby universe and human attempts to produce in the laboratory. So baby universe means we know how universe was created. Universe was created in the Big Bang. It is widely believed. Some indirect evidences have scientists have got. Yes, there is a Big Bang. And Big Bang is like, you can say, it's an explosion, big explosion. And from that big explosion, the whole universe was created. Basically, energy or energy density, energy per unit volume was quite high, infinite at the Big Bang. And then pressure was quite high, temperature was quite high. So because of the high pressure, the universe started expanding. It expanded. Right now we are at a point in the space-time graph, or after certain time of the Big Bang, and also the universe has expanded. The radius of the universe is continuously expanding. Till now also it is expanding. So whatever we are seeing right now, observing, watching, is a part of that universe. But when I say baby universe, it's basically the universe after few microseconds. We know micro is 10 to the minus 6, 0.00050 and 1, then 1, right? So within that much of time, microseconds, what was the state of the universe? That is after Big Bang. So we will discuss on that and how people are trying to created such a phase in the laboratory. So they took several attempts and created in the several 2-3 laboratories. That also I will discuss. And before going to that, baby universe and the human attempts in the laboratory, let me start the presentation with a putting a question. The question is that what is our cosmic address? We would start from this question and go on. Our cosmic address is basically, if you drop a letter to somebody, let us say Ramachandra Patnaik or Samuel Sir's address, let us put a letter to Samuel Sir's address. Then what would be your postal address? Basically, name, Samuel Sir's name, then village or at where he is staying, or flat number or apartment, something, and then postal, basically post office, nearest post office. Also in the local, those who are staying villages, there is called another region is called Bhaya, and then district, state, and finally from which country we are sending the letter. If you are sending to somebody is sending from USA, then he has to write USA, and this postal index number, pin code to provide. So this is to finding any address inside the earth, in the earth. But if a letter comes from Mars, so then extra another apart from country, beyond country, another word will be there, that is called planet Earth in the address. So that is the finding address within the solar system. Somebody from Mars is sending something, right? Somebody from Venus is sending something. So this is the address. So this is our beautiful Earth. This is our beautiful Earth. We all know. We know many things about the Earth radius. It is some sort of little bit oval, mostly circular, little bit oval, and it is orbiting around a star called Sun. It has two kinds of motion. One is orbital motion and another is spinning motion around itself. One motion around the Sun and another motion around itself. And similarly, this is our solar system. So in the left side you are looking, this is Sun, and then Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and obviously Pluto is right now not there because it has been discarded from the category of planet recently. You see, Earth is how small it is compared to Jupiter, Saturn, and also Sun. So there we are staying. That means if you drop letter from any of the planet to Earth, that address, solar address, you can write. And if we go beyond the solar system, then we know our solar system is a part of a bigger system which is called a galaxy. And the name of our galaxy is Milky Way galaxy. Chayapat, Akash Ganga, right? Milky Way galaxy. So in the galaxy, there are many solar systems. Like our solar system, which is a heliocentric solar system, or we call heliocentric, that means Sun. Sun is basically Helios. The name come from the Greek word, the heliocentric solar system, and that belongs to a Milky Way galaxy. So you see the same picture right now in the previous slide. You see, so where there is arrow mark, this is our solar system, and this is the galaxy, Milky Way galaxy, and here we are. Like all the planets are moving around the Sun. Sun is the center of the solar system. Similarly, several solar systems, so many solar systems or galaxies are there, and these our particularly Milky Way galaxy is surrounding around is basically center of the Milky Way galaxy is a black hole. We call that galactic center. Like center of the solar system, center of the Earth, center of the Moon. Similarly, the center of the galaxy is a galactic center, and our galaxy is Milky Way galaxy, And it is a spiral galaxy. Nature is spiral. It is not oval, it is not circular, it is a spiral galaxy. So the center is a black hole. So am I audible?
Yes, sir. You are audible, sir.
Okay. So the same Milky Way galaxy, just this is the dimension, how big it is, how small it is. So this central portion, the central walls is a basically black hole, and sun is here, and approximately the dimension of the galaxy, like we know this, the radius of the Earth is like 6,000 kilometers, 6,400 kilometers, 60,400 kilometers. Similarly, the basically diameter of the galaxy, Milky Way galaxy, is 1 lakh light years. Light years means the distance that a light particle can cover within 1 year. A light is generally moves with a 3 lakh kilometer per second. That is 1 second, 3 lakh kilometer covers. Then calculate how much it would cover in 3,600 seconds or 1 hour. Then 24 hours, and then 365 days. That would be the distance covered by the light in 1 light year. And similarly, 1 lakh light years is the distance covered by the basically diameter of the Milky Way galaxy. That means if some light comes from the center, it has to cover to roughly 30 lakhs or some 30 lakh, 30,000 light years to reach the sun. If some light comes here, then we cannot see that light, because the time it will take to reach here, we will die. Our lifetime is 70, 80 years, 90 years maximum. So that means a galaxy is how big. It is beyond our imagination. And this center of our solar system, that is sun. So when sun is like Earth is orbiting around the sun, similarly, sun is also orbiting around the galactic center, or the whole solar system is orbiting around the galactic center, and then sun is orbiting around the galactic center with a velocity 8,20,000 kilometers per hour. 1 hour, the sun is also not at rest. Sun is moving with a rotating with a velocity of 8,20,000 kilometers per hour around the black hole or galactic center. It takes 230 million years to make one complete orbit. That means sun is here, right? They are moving in a spiral path, right? So it will take it will come to its position, original position, after 230 million years. Like Earth comes to its original position within 24 hours, 365 days, right? Earth takes 365 days to complete one rotation around the sun, 1 year basically. So similarly, 230 million years, Earth take 1 year. So this is 230 million years, Earth years, basically the sun takes to complete one orbit, that is spiral orbit. So galactic center, people are predicting it might be a supermassive black hole. Its name is Sagittarius A star, and distance from Earth, the black hole or the galactic center, is 7.6 to 8.7 kiloparsec. This is what the calculation based on some experimental evidences or some light particles. Basically, the evidences in the astronomical objects, whatever is the basically your evidences, those are collected from light. Light is the biggest source for science. Light is one of the most important thing, important thing. So it can tell many things. Light can tell many things. So study of light is very important. So 1 kiloparsec is basically 3,262 light years, and 4 million times the black hole is very massive. Its weight is very much more. It's generally we talk in terms of mass. The mass is 4 million times mass of the sun. And the Milky Way galaxy, like sun, there are 100 billion stars. That means 10 to the power 11 stars in the Milky Way galaxy. 1 billion is 10 to the 9. So 10 to the 9 billion stars in the galaxy. 10 to the 11 stars in the galaxy, Milky Way galaxy. And similarly, in the whole universe also, you can another, let us say 10 to the 10 galaxies. So total, on an average, if you take 10 to the 9 or 9 to 11 stars in one galaxy, roughly 10 to the 21 stars are basically in the universe. And the universe, we are talking observable universe. I will tell later what is observable universe. Maybe the universe is much more bigger than that we observe right now. So whatever we are observing, observable universe has 10 to the 21 stars. Now you compare how big is the universe, how small we are. And all galactic center may not be a black hole, so but ours one is a black hole here. And it is a big black hole. So dimension of the galactic center is basically 44 million kilometers. So it's something beyond our imagination in simple. So now it is you see this is our nearby sky or the visible part of the universe to our Earth, our solar system, which is nearby us. This part of the sky or this part of the universe. So you see there are several things, NGC, M84. So these things are basically called clusters. That means like several galaxies make one cluster. We started from you can say we started from your village, then post office, maybe 2-3 villages have one post office, maybe one village has one post office, then Bhaya, then district, then we went to state, country, and then we went to Earth, whole Earth, then solar system, and then solar system to our galaxy, and from the galaxy, several galaxies make one cluster. The C, you see, IC, NGC, PGC, these are different names, and that last word C, letter C is for cluster. It means one cluster, there are several galaxies are there. So that is the present universe, so big universe. Now let us go back to our original point, how the universe was created. So this slide is basically tells the expansion of the universe from its starting point or from the creation due to the Big Bang. You see the most brightest part of the picture, right? So that is a single point-like object, point-like thing. That is the point where when Big Bang occurred. Whole universe was like a point. Nothing was there. Whole universe was like a point, and universe had infinite energy. Infinite energy. Since infinite energy, volume is much less. So energy density, we say density. Mass density means mass per unit volume. Mass by volume. Energy density means energy by volume. Pressure density means pressure by volume. So similarly, the density was quite high. So because of high pressure, what happened? The point-like volume, the universe, when it created, it immediately expanded. You see, this part is called, I don't know whether you can see the cursor. This part is called the inflation, and this is the Big Bang. After Big Bang, universe suddenly expanded. That part is called the inflation. And then you see, this is something disk-like structure you are looking. And that disk-like structure is basically a microsecond universe after 10 to the minus 6 second universe, right? And then gradually the expansion which happened during this time became slower. It is expanding, but it is slower expansion. So it becomes like this, like this. Each disk is like representing the radius of the universe at that time. So this axis is basically time axis, and this is basically radius of the universe, or you can say the disk shape. If you take a cross section of the universe at that time, so it would appear like a circular, and that circle is appearing in the two-dimensional picture as a disk or ellipse, you can say. So that is basically at any time that was the universe. Now this is the present universe at the end of this with a bigger radius. Present universe, you see now the universe is some sort of dilute. It's like here the particles are dense earlier, Now you see there are so many void space, only void is there. And these are some clusters are there. So like this, you see, if you see, so in one cluster, there are so many galaxies, stars, solar systems like that. So this is the present day of the universe. And we would be talking about this period, which is microsecond old universe, and we are trying to create in the laboratory. Again, the same picture is depicted in a more clear way in this slide. First Big Bang, and then after to Big Bang, up to certain time, what happened till now we could not predict. Theory cannot predict. There is no experimental evidences. So up to this person, we don't know what happened there. So then inflation happened. So after inflation, what happened from the pure energy, particles were created. Some particles are created. I will tell what are those particles. Basically, the particles are electron, positron, another like electron. There is another particle called muon and neutrino, tau. So these particles are created. And along with those particles, another set of particles called quarks, those are also created. So basically, if you divide the whole universe into two things, one thing is matter, and another thing you can say those information from one matter to one matter, those who carry, they are basically radiation things. For example, when you say, let us say, sun is attracting Earth. So Earth is one object, Sun is another object. The attraction happens through a force or interaction called gravity. So we see gravitational interaction, and the gravitational interaction happens through certain particle called graviton, which basically carries the message from Earth to Sun. Similarly, any matter object, you take two electrons, or one electron, one positron, or electron or one proton, then the interaction between one electron and a proton is basically happens through electromagnetic radiation or photon. We know. For example, if you put one electron somewhere, and the moment you put another proton nearby this electron, then immediately the proton will feel a force in between them, that is electromagnetic force or Coulomb interaction. And the moment you put the proton nearer to the electron, so that means what happens, a photon or light particle carry that message, there is another charge nearby you. So if electron and proton are called matter particle, then the photon or light is called the radiation. You can say messenger particle. So matter particle and messenger particle. So similarly from the Big Bang, so different kind of particles are produced. Matter particles like quark, antiquark. Whole universe is made up of quark, antiquark, electron. These kind of particles. These are matter particles. And the communication between matter particles happens between photon, another particle is called gluon, another particle called W boson or graviton. These particles are called messenger particles. They takes the message from one to another. So after the Big Bang, so after a certain time, you see this period, from the energy, new particles were produced. Now when the particles are produced, particles interacted among themselves and they made equilibrium matter. What do you mean by equilibrium matter? If you take water, immediately put some salt. What happens? Salt interacts with water molecule. Salt molecule interacts with water molecule and tries to equilibrium the situation and make a homogeneous mixture. Sometimes if you put some other objects in the water like oil, it will not equilibrate. It will just simply float. You can say disperse or something would happen, but it will not equilibrate with the system. But when the matter initially were produced, if the interaction is stronger, the equilibrium becomes faster. If the interaction is smaller, they cannot equilibrate with the system. So similarly, when the matter were created from the energy after the Big Bang, after a few microseconds, then they equilibrated and formed the first form of matter. And then after a certain time, in the microsecond old universe, whole universe was dominated by particles called quark and its antiparticle antiquark gluon, which is called quark gluon plasma. Also, during that time, electrons were there, positrons were there, those were there. Because the whole system was dominated by quarks and gluons. We call that state as quark gluon plasma. That is few microseconds after the Big Bang. We call it quark gluon plasma. Although photons were there, electrons were there, because since like in anything, when there are majority particles or dominate the systems, that property or behavior of the majority particle would basically come to the light. That is the normal nature of the you can say universe, earth, everywhere that is the nature. So that behavior of the universe during that time was governed by quark and gluons, and we call it is a quark gluon plasma phase. And why plasma phase I will little bit elaborate later. So plasma is some kind of I would say it's a in day-to-day life. Let me first give an example, then I will tell. Like sun is a plasma state in its plasma state, but that plasma is called electrically charged plasma. Means charged, but electrically charged particles are there, ions and electrons are there. They form a equilibrium system, and the property of the sun is governed by those particles. And plasma is called basically, if a ionized gas satisfies certain criteria, some collective behavior, then we call it plasma. Similarly, during the early universe, the quarks and gluons dominated the behavior of the system and show some collective behavior, which that's why we call that as a quark gluon plasma. But in case of sun, it is normal plasma. If you have a tube light in your home, that is example of normal plasma. From the plasma, radiation happens, light comes, you can see plasma. Different color of, if the plasma is consisting of hydrogen gas, basically hydrogen ion and electron, then you can have a different color of plasma. If it is a nitrogen plasma, you can have a different color of plasma, because that those kind of ions radiate different wavelengths of the photon, so that's why you see different color. So similarly, quark gluon plasma was microsecond old universe, and then after that, from the quark gluon plasma or quarks, they form the quark antiquark combined, or quark combined. They produce another set of particles called hadrons, which are basically nucleons, proton, neutron, etc. They form. So that is the period of microsecond old universe. And then then I will, in the next slide, I will tell till now how from that period how did we reach. So the whole universe is basically, the age of the universe is roughly 13.8 billion years. Again, we are with the same picture, but different pictorial form is shown. So that means you see, after 1 billion years, first galaxies were formed. After 1 billion years of the Big Bang, galaxies were formed. And right now, we are in 13.8 billion years. The present universe, we can call it as a modern universe. It is a nomenclature. And diameter of the present universe is 93 billion light years. You will go to home and work out how much this is 93 billion light years. And whole mass of the universe, that means ordinary matter, because there is also another concept of dark matter, which we do not know how much it is. The mass of the ordinary matter in the universe is 10 to the 53 kg. And but universe is, as I showed in the previous slide, you see, this slide, here many voids are there. Right? It's a dilute. Here is one cluster of something. Here is another cluster. In between, this is completely void, vacuum kind of things, right? So its density is too less, and that's what it also at present calculation says. Average densities 10 to the minus 31 gram per centimeter cube. 10 to the minus 31. Full low density universe. That is the average density. That doesn't mean that everywhere is that much. Somewhere it is high dense, somewhere is density is almost close to zero. Then if you make it average, then you will get into the minus 31 gram per centimeter. Similarly, average temperature is only 2.9 Kelvin. You can say 3 Kelvin. 3 Kelvin, you know, what is room temperature? Room temperature of the 30 centigrade, 30 degrees centigrade. When 30 degrees centigrade is basically typical, 27 degree centigrade is basically 300 Kelvin. So average temperature, room temperature is 300 Kelvin. So average temperature 2. Basically roughly you can say 3 Kelvin. If it is 3 Kelvin, how cold is the universe? If you go above top and top and top, you might have felt. If you go, so if you have traveled through airplane, the moment you go above the normal atmosphere, so then you will feel colder and colder. Means since inside world is insulating, that is air condition is maintained, you cannot see, but the outer side is completely cold. And if you go beyond also solar system, it's too much cold. 3 Kelvin. That is the average temperature of the universe. Now this is a typical visible universe. Same thing. I don't need to spend much time. So this is also typical slides. So in the last, this is Earth, then solar system, interstellar, our neighborhood, all those stars and galaxies are there. Sorry, stars are there. This is Milky Way galaxy, and then Milky Way galaxy is a part of the local galactic group, right? Then local galactic group is a part of the supercluster. I said it's cluster, in bigger cluster or supercluster. That is Virgo. Virgo name you might have heard. We have 4 rasis, right? Mesa, Brusa, Mithuna, Karkata, Singha, Kanya, Tula. You must have heard those things. So this is Virgo is basically one of the supercluster, and those are basically Rasi means there is a cluster of stars, cluster of galaxies there. So all those rasis. So this is Virgo supercluster. Our ancient people basically they have their own calculation. So from that period they have made the whole visible sky. So to the Earth is they have divided into 12 cluster. So like Mesa cluster, basically different stars and looks like a shape of a Mesa. And similarly, Brusa, Mesa, Brusa, Mithuna, Karkata, Singha, Kanya, Tula. So these are this Vicha something. So these are like 12 clusters. And then we have super clusters, then visible universe. Sorry, whole observable universe. So that's what is the typical composition of the universe right now. So this is the map of the super clusters and voids nearest to Earth. Now let us a little bit talk about what I have told exactly at the Big Bang. So we started. Let us start our time from Big Bang. Before Big Bang, there was no till now the scientists could not define the time. So time definition time, if you start from the Big Bang, that is time equal to 0. And then that after the Big Bang, let us call it postnatal period. If some baby is born, after just that period is called natal period, postnatal period. So universe is born. So then after that period is basically 10 to the minus 43 second to 10 to the minus 12 second. So during that period, till now, we do not know what happened to the universe. So before 10 to the minus 43 second, we do not know what happened to the universe. But what happened? We expect that it must be expanding. That is because of the high pressure. But how did it expand? Why did it expand? What is the formula of the expansion? We don't know. So we call that is a Planck epoch, according to the scientist name of the scientist Planck epoch. So before 10 to the minus 43 second. And then cosmic inflation. Inflation happened. Inflation I showed in the picture where the sudden expansion happened. That is called inflation. So people could derive its equation. So how the universe expanded, it is an exponential expansion e to the alpha t with respect to time, exponential expansion. So that happened. 10 to the minus 36 second, 10 to the minus 32 second, and then it continued up to 10 to the minus 12 second. The first picosecond of the cosmic time belong to this period, early universe period. Currently, that is early universe period is beyond the grasp of any experiments in particle physics, and also it is beyond the domain. Only some theoretical, active theoretical research is going on. That is up to 10 to the minus 12, but below 10 to the minus 43, also theoretical research is not there. There is no theoretical research also. And then the period comes, and baby universe period, that from the 10 to the minus 12 second to 10 to the 13 second. 10 to the 13 second is roughly 3 lakh years in the cosmic time. Second, if you convert to years, so 10 to the 13 is basically 3 lakh years. So from 10 to the minus 12 second to 10 to the 2 to 3 lakh years, that period is infant and baby universe period. Till now, that universe, and you can calculate. If I ask you what is the dimension of the universe during that time, you can calculate. If that is the time, so multiply with the velocity of light. At least universe was expanding little bit of the order of velocity of light. So you multiply that, and you roughly can have a tentative idea that expansion of the sorry, radius of the or diameter of the universe at that time. So that period is basically called quark epoch to photon epoch in the years of cosmic time. When I say cosmic time, that starts from Big Bang to till the death of the universe. So the universe remains in the state of a plasma called quark-gluon plasma, that is up to 10 to the minus 6 second, microsecond initially, and then became plasma of hadrons up to 1 second, and within a time period of 3 minutes to 20 minutes. Remember, 3 minutes to 20 minutes time after the Big Bang, within this time, first nucleosynthesis occurred. Hydrogen, nucleus, proton, and then proton, neutron, they attracted, and proton, neutron attracted, and they formed the nuclei. So similarly, higher nuclei up to lithium-7 formation was happened basically during the period of 3 to 20 minutes. This is the most crucial period of the whole universe expansion. Right now, nothing new is happening in the universe. Maybe some new phenomena is happening. Nothing new phenomena is basically some supernova is happening, but supernova already happened also. That is also somewhere something is happening also there. But the like of new phase kind of things only happened that period was there. So during the first 3 minutes to 20 minutes, that is the most crucial period. Then after up to 3 lakh to 80 years, after that 20 minutes to 3 lakh 80 years, nothing happened. The universe was almost all transparent. So that is called the dark ages. That is from 3 minutes, 20 minutes to 3 lakh 80 years. That is 3 lakh years. That is the photon quark and photon epoch. Those during that period, once nuclear synthesis happened up to lithium-7 formation, and after lithium-7 formation, there is a problem for a higher synthesis of higher elements. I will tell. And up to 150 million years, up to 3 lakh 80 years, nothing was happened. That is called dark ages. And this is about roughly 150 million years period was the dark ages. And the universe was transparent during that time. And no large scale structures were formed. Large scale structure means stars. Planets were formed later. Stars were formed earlier. First stars formed, then from the stars, planets were formed. The star formation, like that is the bigger structure, that no structure was formed in between that period. And only higher elements like iron, all those higher elements were formed inside the core of the star. So that's why those higher nuclei were formed after the formation of the stars, and that is after basically 150 million years. After the 150 million years. So those higher elements are formed. Up to lithium nucleus, up to 20 minutes, it has been formed. So there is a book by Steven Weinberg, who is a Nobel laureate and one of the very well-known scientists in the present era. He recently died. So he wrote a book called First 3 Minutes. The book name is First 3 Minutes. He mentioned that within first 3 minutes, whatever has to be formed already formed during that period in the universe. After that, only star and galaxy formation happen. But main things like nuclei, proton, neutron, basically all the composition of matter, of the composition of the universe, of the fundamental particle of the universe, those things were found within first 3 minutes. So the late stage of the universe after 150 million years to the till date. This is the 150 million. No, sorry, last stage of the universe is this is not. We are in the middle of the something. So that will come. But from the 150 million years to the present day, right? That is up to 30, as we say, 13.8 billion years. Today is the age of the universe. So that period, and many things happened. What happened? Star formation happened, stellar evolution, and star around the star somewhere, some planet, when the two stars collided, then the planets were formed. So those things have happened. New galaxy formed, and evolution of galaxy happened. Supercluster, cluster, etc. That happened up to 100 billion years cosmic time. The thin disk of our galaxy began to form at about 5 billion years of the our galaxy, Milky Way galaxy. Basically its age is 5 billion years in the cosmic time. The solar system formed about 4.6 billion years. When whole Milky Way galaxy is 5 billion years, solar system is 4.6 billion years ago. With the earliest and the first traces of life on Earth, when solar system is formed, and during that we hope Earth is also formed during that time. So Earth is and the life on Earth is 3.5 billion years ago. And this is up to till now, 13.8 billion years. And we hope the universe will go on expanding like this up to 100 billion years. So after that, the universe may see a drastic change. The fate of the universe that we do not know. People predict there will be heat death. Universe will, everything will be die. There will be heat death. Again, everything will go to their fundamental form of the matter. Life would be completely extincted. Some people say there will be big crowns. Somebody say that it's like again the universe will collapse. So there are so many theories are there. And right now there is a big bounce theory. People are right now are called cyclic universe theory. So like the universe again will break down, and then new universe will be created again. So this is cyclic universe theory people are also giving. And also, first we have heard some cyclic universe concept in one of the spiritual texts, Gita, where Sri Krishna tells Arjuna that the Brahman in a typical period of time it collapses and then forms, and like that it goes on. But these are all theories. We do not know what will happen to the last stage of the universe. We will discuss about the baby universe or infant universe, where the quark-gluon plasma is there. That's what. So people have been trying since decades to create that phase, quark-gluon plasma phase, in the laboratory. It's like a mini bang. People also call it mini bang, so that they can study actually what was there during that time. So basically, so this is the period. You see, so up to this is inflation. Inflation happened here. So this is inflation, and then we have electron. These particles are formed, and here we have the this is the QGP phase, this period, and then this line is basically tells out the phase transition, and then here we have hadron formation, hadronic plasma. Means neutrons, protons, mesons, pi mesons, those systems are there. Those particles are produced, those composite quark structure or composite particles are produced from the quark-gluon plasma. So this portion is basically, created in the laboratory. People are trying to fit in the laboratory, and this is the present day universe. So the whole aim of the scientific community, high energy scientific community, high energy nuclear physics and particle physics community had a they had a objective to create a system where the quarks are almost all free and the system is in thermodynamic equilibrium, and system properties are dominated by quarks and gluons or the quark-gluon plasma. So can I know how much time I have? Sir, can I know how much time I have?
Sir, you go on, sir.
Okay,
still
no
10
problem.
minutes.
Okay, 10 minutes. Okay. So then to create that situation in the laboratory, what people did, you see, from the quarks, the nucleons, protons and neutrons are produced. Then that means if we break the proton and neutron, then you can get the quarks and gluons or quark-gluon plasma. That's why what people did is basically took nuclei and they collided the two nuclei in the laboratory in a machine called accelerator. So like I am from a center called cyclotron center. So that is also machine where the nuclei are being accelerated. Accelerated means we give more kinetic energy to the system. Accelerator means acceleration is increasing. That means kinetic energy is increasing or velocity is increasing. When kinetic energy is increasing, if you collide two nuclei with very high kinetic energy, then you can have a system which would give you quarks and gluons. And but on our cyclotron doesn't have that capacity to provide that much energy. But in the world, we have two laboratories. One is relativistic heavy ion collider in USA, Brookhaven National Laboratory, and another is Large Hadron Collider. You must have heard many times Large Hadron Collider or LHC in the CERN, that is Switzerland. CERN laboratory, that is the biggest laboratory in the world. Many countries are collaborating in both the places. India is also collaborating with them. India is making detectors and sending them. So there they are colliding two nucleus, because inside the nucleus there are protons and neutrons. If you accelerate two nucleons, provide a higher amount of energy to the nucleus, then the protons and neutrons will get that much kinetic energy. When they will collide, then the quark-gluon plasma will be created. So that is the basically principle. And then we can have that system. So large group of scientists put effort to recreate the stage of the universe in the laboratory. What do we need? So is basically we need to understand the properties of the fundamental particles or quark-gluon plasma or the baby universe, right? So then basically this arrow portion we want to understand this portion of the this diagram. So this is the one laboratory, relativistic heavy ion collider, RHIC. And laboratory name is Brookhaven National Laboratory. Machine name is relativistic heavy ion collider. This is a collider machine. You see, this is the circumference of the machine. This is a tunnel. This is the beam line. So RHIC, relativistic heavy ion collider, and there are different experimental points. These are different experimental points where the collision of the two nuclei happens. So this whole setup is basically, this is a laboratory, big laboratory. This is USA. And another laboratory is also Large Hadron Collider at CERN, Geneva. So there are also two things. One is superproton synchrotron. This is another machine, and this is Large Hadron Collider. This is another machine. So this big machine is Large Hadron Collider. So here also we collide nuclei to produce quark-gluon plasma. And let me. This is the Large Hadron Collider ring in the CERN. CERN means European Council. This is Council of European Research Nuclear. So that is in French name. So basically European Council for Nuclear Research. This is CERN in Geneva, Switzerland. So this is basically France and Switzerland border. And you see these beam, these basically the ring, you see, this is basically beam pipe. Inside the pipe, nucleus is basically accelerated. And this is a point of experiment. This is a point of experiment. This is in 4 places 4 experiments are being done. And you imagine this circumference is basically 27 kilometers. This is 27 kilometers circumference, and it is underground. So the top is above, the Alps mountain is there also. Alps mountain is there. So it is the underground. Everything, whole laboratory is underground laboratory. So there, and this ALICE is a name of experiment. Here, India, BCC has basically participation in this experiment, ALICE experiment. This is for especially QGP study. And the Atlas CMS, they were engaged in Higgs particle study. You might have heard the God particle discovery in 2012. There was big, huge discovery, and that finally it led to Nobel Prize, Higgs particle. So that those two particles are discovered in this Atlas CMS in these two experiments and the same system, same facility. And the ALICE is dedicated for this baby universe, early universe study or Berggruen study. You see, this picture is from the RIC USA laboratory picture. These are the tracks of the particle. How many particles are created only when you collide with two nucleus? These are the tracks of the particles, and the real tracks. The real tracks, they have captured the motion of the particles. The real tracks of huge particles are produced. You see, this is the Large Hadron Collider. The underground, this is the underground tunnel. Inside this, in the underground tunnel, this is the underground tunnel. Inside the tunnel, this is the beam pipe, the experimental beam pipe. Like this, you see, it looks like straight line, but it is a part of a circle. Since it is 27 kilometers, it looks that it's a straight line, but it's not a straight line. Though so big is that, if something happens somewhere, you have to take a vehicle and then go and repair it. Otherwise, you cannot move, you cannot do that. And then this is the, here this detector setup in the ALICE, this ALICE experiment in CERN. So this is the PMD photon multiplicity detector that was made from our laboratory VCC and installed there. This is part of photon multiplicity detector installed there. This basically studies the photon, number of photons produced in that experiment, and then how photons can give some signals whether the Berggruen plasma is produced or not. So let us discuss some facts regarding the LHC machine. The perimeter is 27 kilometers circumference. It is located 175 meter deep inside the earth. From the earth's surface, it is roughly 200 meter deep inside. And beneath France, Switzerland border near Geneva. It was built between it started in 1998 and 2008. It was completed. First experiment in 2010 we did, and with 3.5 tera electron volt per nucleon. That means if you take a nucleus, in a nucleus there are several nucleons or several protons and neutrons, and we know protons and neutrons are together called nucleons, and the symbol is A. So this is each proton and neutron is giving 3.5 tera electron volt energy. So TeV is basically energy equivalent. You can convert it to joule also, no problem. Equivalent of a system. The tunnel is diameter of tunnel is 3 meter. So 3 meter diameter tunnel, and obviously length is 27 kilometer perimeter. So 27 kilometer superconducting magnets, because so you cannot, since it is a beam of nucleus, it has electric charge, it has color charge, electric charge basically. So to make that nucleus exactly keep a circular track, you have to give electromagnetic magnets. Without magnet, you can fast losses. It's in a straight line motion, but so the circular motion is get through the magnets. Then 1 billion kilograms excavated. That means मिट्टी जब खुदाई किए, कितना मिट्टी खुदाई किए? 1 billion kg मिट्टी खुदाई करके वो laboratory बना है. So each bunch of the particles, जो beam, जो when the nuclear beam is moving inside that is cluster particles of particles. In one bunch there are 10 to the 11 protons. One bunch of protons. In case of proton collision, so we have people have collided proton collision. People have collided gold nucleus. People have collided lead nucleus. Too. So basically, to have that things, and maybe it is not much of your interest. What is the bonds length, etc. So this is basically LHC uses force of 70 tons of superconducting coil. So the superconductor coil is made from titanium. So you see, the magnetic field is required is 8.33 Tesla. Right? This is high magnetic field. That means much more magnetic field that Earth has. We require much more higher magnetic field for that experiment compared to the magnetic strength of the Earth. Earth whole crust is also iron and magnetic. It has magnetic field, but it's much more than that. And the temperature which is maintained there is 1.9 Kelvin. You saw, as I mentioned, 3 Kelvin is 2.7 Kelvin is the average universe temperature, which is coolest. And but here we maintain a temperature 1.9 Kelvin. That means 0 is the last, right? Minus 273 degree or minus 273 Kelvin is the 0 Kelvin. So it is 1 Kelvin. Then almost we have temperature. This is the coolest. You can say this is the technology which has been developed, or the research is done with the highest form of technology, where we have achieved the coolest. We have the coolest part of the universe, and the hottest part of the system is produced. When the QGP is produced, that temperature is 200 MeV, 400 MeV. 400 MeV means that is roughly 10 to the power 12, 10 to 10 to the 12 Kelvin. So 10 to the power 12 Kelvin temperature is produced. That matter which is produced, QGP is produced, has a temperature of 12 Kelvin. But to produce that, when the nucleus is being collided in the beam through the beam, the nucleus is moves in a temperature region that is 1.9 Kelvin. That is the coolest of the universe part. That means hottest matter is produced in the universe inside that laboratory. Coolest in a machine which has the coolest part of the universe, that is 1.9 Kelvin. So these are the, you can say the technology, the kind of engineers and scientists. They are people have gone to that level. So this is an amazing thing. And another thing is that the vacuum. So if there is no vacuum, the nucleus which is moving, it will interact and immediately spoil, immediately get distracted. So that has to, the whole beam pipe has to be made in vacuum. So that vacuum is also the kind of vacuum they maintain, that is also emptier than the space. We know the space density is 10 to the minus 31 gram that I have showed already, minus 31 gram per cc centimeter cube. But here is also, it's much more than, or much less than that. Density is much less than that. Vacuum means much less number of particles inside that space. So it's a really, you can say, the marvelous, the highest technology has been used to create that baby universe in the laboratory, also to discover the Higgs particle. So that is the latest technology available in the scientific history till now, this Large Hadron Collider. So LHC started and made possible. There are also some facts when it started. There are some interesting stories, also motivating stories, how it happened. So I am not going to that because the time has come. So let me tell my final words is that yes, people could create the situation of quark-gluon plasma. I didn't show some signal. I only showed the tracks of the particles created, but indirect signals from the photons, light particles, electrons, muons, all those particles, people have already calculated, observed that yes, the quark-gluon plasma has been produced, and the temperature is quite high. The temperature is 400 MeV. M means mega electron volt. 1 mega means 10 to the 6. Electron volt is roughly 10 to the 4 Kelvin. So this is roughly 10 to the 6, 4 is 10 to the 10, and 200 or 400 is 10 to the 12 Kelvin. Temperature has been produced, and we are successful in creating a baby universe in the laboratory. We call it mini bang laboratory. But thing is that for you, the students, the message is that the kind of engineering is required, the kind of both theoretical, experimental thing is required, and hopefully you are in the future. We India do not have that kind of machine. We are collaborating with them, but India will really be known as really scientific superpower. Then when we can have that kind of, we will develop that kind of machine here. Obviously, all countries are giving funds. That is because huge fund is required for this kind of study, and all machines are there. And for your motivation, let me tell you one thing: whole internet that we are using right now, www, that is World Wide Web, was is developed from this laboratory CERN. Because while to have this kind of data transfer, so to discover the QGP and discover the Higgs particle, the kind of data you need to handle. So to transfer data from one place to another, CD will not work, floppy will not work. Only the internet, that the www World Wide was basically discovered to handle the data. That was we call spin-up technology. That means we are trying to do something, but we discovered something. So that means to discover these things, though technology were derived. Right now also, apart from PET, positron emission tomography, which is used for cancer diagnosis, many diagnosis, medical diagnosis. People are also using some medical imaging technology that is has also been developed from this laboratory. That means once you go for this kind of research, many things you have to discover during that path. So, so with this, let me hope that no doubt one day we will also to go to that level of scientific prosperity. And till then, we have to work hard. We need more passionate students. We need more passionate engineers. We need more passionate chemists. We need more passionate physicists. We need more passionate biologists, because India is now facing, not India, whole world is facing this viral problem, this pandemic, coronavirus, plague is there. Also, we could not succeed over cancer, AIDS. So many things are there. So only knowledge can beat all those things. Technology can beat all those things. Yes, obviously we will use technology. Again, with that saying that we would consume that much which is required, not more than that. Unnecessarily we use more water than what is required for our bathing bathroom, for our basically cleaning utensils, cleaning many things. So we use much more whatever it is required. We have to consciously consume all those things with the help of technology. Also, we will not misuse technology. Then it will not be a boon for us, rather it will be a negative thing for us. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for your valuable speech. And now I would like to request